So I'd like to take a minute with you and visit about the Trump accounts. This is something that you've heard recently coming into the news. The idea is that the government will put $1,000 into the account of every born child from this time forward. It would be an investment account or a brokerage account, which will gain interest, obviously, compounded through the years, and really change the financial future for a lot of people. I want to visit with you just for a minute and let you know it was over a year ago that I came across a gentleman by the name of Brad Gerstner. Brad Gerstner. He was very successful in investing monies that he had left over in 2008 when the market crashed, when the economy crashed. The story was that he went into his basement and started day trading, because that's how he'd put himself through college. And in the process, he turned, I think it was $5 million. He turned it into $22 billion, I think it was, and some astronomical figure. Anyway, it was actually him that began to talk about the idea and start a program called Invest America. You can look that up online, Invest America. And he began to communicate this idea of putting $1,000 into an account for every child born. Well, I grabbed a hold of that and I decided I'm going to do that. I'm not going to wait for the government to do it. And so a year ago, I began to establish investment accounts at Charles Schwab for each one of my grandchildren. I think it's just a tremendous, tremendous idea. There's a lot of talk about Social Security and how it's eroding away, and it doesn't amount to a whole lot for people anyway. But with this type of program implemented, Social Security will not even be needed for our children and young people when they age into that bracket. So anyway, I'd like to put out a challenge. I'd like to put out a challenge to every grandparent, that for the sake of your grandchildren, you know, the Bible says a good man will leave an inheritance to his children's children. And so I'd like to encourage you and challenge you. Put $1,000 in an investment account. At a minimum, if it'll be put into a mutual fund or into a fund that's tracking the S&P 500, which is about 12 to 15% gain every year for the last eon of time, seems like. Anyway, just want to put that out there. So Trump accounts, I think they're a fantastic idea. And I just want to give some credit to Brad Gerstner, for he's the man that began to speak about this originally. Look up his name, listen to him a little bit. He's a little bit rough on language once in a while, but I think I want to give credit to where credit is due.